Hi, I'm Ron Masters. I'm with the Thoreau congregation, and I'm involved in ADG. I host the adult enrichment lunch as well, and a few other things. And behind me on the screen, you see the back of my house with the solar array on the roof. We put this in a couple of years ago. It's 34 solar panels, 8 kilowatts maximum at noon on the solstice on a sunny day. Today we got about 5 kilowatts at the in midday. I was interested in doing this for a long time. I was kind of befuddled by too many choices. And eventually a broker came by and made me an offer and had everything all planned out and promised and followed through with getting all the permits and so forth. And the financing, and he arranged the financing immediately. So I got a residential tax credit of 30%, and it was still pretty pricey. I have an agreement with my retail electric provider to sell and buy at the same rate per kilowatt and kilowatt hour. And therefore, I feed the grid during peak hours, and I extract from the grid overnight. And last year, I was at a net credit until about June. Very modest, like $10 electric cost in June. It went up to something like I forgot $100 or something in August, when we're air conditioning all night long, and now my annual electric cost is mostly the fixed cost of paying off the note. So it's a capital cost, not an expense. And my total expenditure to the electricity company is about the same per year as my August bill was in before we got the roof. So it's not really a matter of saving money, although it does mean that I am not going to suffer from increases in electric cost in the future, because I'll still sell and pay the same rate in both directions. It turns out that everybody in Texas already has a meter which will meter in both directions. And so when I'm producing, my neighbors are paying their retail electric providers for my electricity. And my retail electric provider treats me like a generator rather than a customer. So I'm pretty satisfied. I feel like I'm doing a good thing, and on a sunny day, it's a beautiful blue color.
Hi, my name is Karoline Mueller. I'm a member of First UU, and I'm sitting in my garden. I'm going to talk about what I grow and that I compost, and also that my main focus for climate change is on cooking. So starting with the garden, I have a winter garden with greens, with lettuces and kale and chard, and something easy to grow are herbs. So I have spring onions and cilantro, one of our favorites. And for fun, I grew some carrots. They're the ones I'm thinning out for the other carrots to get nice and thick. And while this is really nice and gives an outlet for our compost, my main concern is about food I'm eating. So I went vegetarian and then vegan several years ago. I was dominantly motivated by health issues, but then learning more and more, it's now actually a whole collection of issues to eat this way. And one is the effects on climate change that food has. One is that the land required to grow all the food, and if we feed our food first to another creature, then of course that gets multiplied depending on the creature up to 10 times or more. And the other effect is that one of the effects of climate change is, of course, on wildlife, but there are other effects on wildlife too, and that is the land grab we do. And when we think about land usage, we dominantly think of cities and streets and all that stuff, and it's actually a very minor part of the land used. Agriculture dominates really the picture here. It's like 50% of the habitable land is used for agriculture, the rest is forest. And then human occupation. So much of that land could actually be used for rewilding if we tune down on the animal agriculture, because animal agriculture uses over 80% of that land and only contributes a small fraction, like 18% of the calories and like 30% of protein use. So there's much we could do by changing the food we eat.
Hi, I'm Marcella Wilson, and I'm here to show you my compost pile, which is a kind of a passive pile. There it is. It has a lot of leaves in it right now because of the cold weather. I had a lot of leaves to put on top of it. But I also put all my garbage from the household in there too and bury it practically every day or every other day or so. I don't know if you can see. It's just a passive pile, but I've been doing this for about 40 years, 35 years, various places where I've lived. And the compost dirt is really great for the garden once it's decomposed. And that's what I have over here. That garden, and I have, those are blackberries and a vegetable garden.
My name is Nan Hildreth, and I want to talk about my favorite climate action, which is offsets. We all have emissions, and we can reduce them, but some you just can't get rid of, and those you can offset, and that's just doing something that's good for our climate. For example, planting trees, or not cutting down your trees, or helping someone else reduce their emissions. The folks in Africa, most of them, don't have any electricity, so they're using these kerosene lamps for light, and they're dangerous and expensive and smoky, and people are trying, if they get a little bit of tiny solar, they can throw out their lamps and they can save money, but it costs more up front. So if we can finance it for them, then they can pay for that in installments. So everybody's happy. And on kiva.org, we the crowd are financing these loans, these companies that are distributing this solar. And I figure every $25 I put down on one of those loans offsets 4 tons of my emissions. And since my carbon footprint is about 8 tons, so $50 clears me out for the year. And anything more I do makes me climate positive. China promised to be net zero by 2060, and England promised to be net zero by 2050, and the United States hasn't promised yet, but I already did it. I'm net zero now. More than that, I'm climate positive.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mary Cook, and I'm the team leader of the Justice Coordinating Council at First Year Youth. And I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about what we're trying to do to offset our carbon footprint. And one, we're really conscious, both for economic reasons, but also for environmental reasons, about the temperature control and, you know, refrigerants in our home. We've added solar panels to our house, the limit to which the city of Houston would give us a permit. We have installed a heat reflector in our attic, as well as additional insulation and some kind of covering for the entrance into the attic, and a smart thermostat. But the other thing I'd like to talk to you about is Tradewater.us. It's new to us, but I learned about it on NPR. And it's a company that will buy refrigerants and destroy them forever. The type of refrigerants that are no longer allowed, but they're laying around in garages. And it also offers us an opportunity to buy carbon offsets to help bring our own footprint to zero. I hope that you'll consider that. That's my big talk today for the environment.
You are invited to Zoom in on a talk about climate offsets at Northwoods Unitarian Universalist Church. That's in the Woodlands. The Zoom link is right on their homepage, and it's Sunday, May 2nd at 12:30 p.m. It's right after service. Also, I'm giving a talk on the next Sunday, May 9th at 2 p.m. on Project Drawdown's 100 Solutions. They did fabulous research of all the different solutions and estimated how much each one would contribute. That's to get the link, contact Lisa Brenskell and of Interfaith Environmental Network of Houston. Her email is gcs.lrc@gmail.com.